We're going to pick up from where we left off last week. So this is week 2 of In This Habit. And if you're just joining us, that's great for the first time. I'll give a mini review and we'll go into this week. We had everybody kind of pick something that you want to change, a habit that you're working on. Some of the examples were eating junk food. That's none of these guys. Feeling out of control, trying to break up with a boyfriend, childhood stuff, trauma. So those are some examples of things people were working on. I'm sure there's far more than that. But you might take a minute and just see, what would you like to work on tonight? Might be the same one, it might be one different. So we're just going to kind of do some energy work on something you want to change in your life. And we kind of looked at where it started and what was going on with the family and what triggers it in present time. So that's kind of where we were last week. So you can be thinking of one as we start our little meditation. I'm Mary Bell Nyman from Psychic Rising Center, and we always start by grounding. It's a great way to begin any class. So you can take a deep breath, kind of let your body relax on your chair. Yeah. And you can kind of look for the very base of your spine where it meets that chair. And then look all the way down to the very center of the earth. And let those 2 points be connected by an energy cord. Be a giant redwood tree, a hollow pipe, an anchor and chain, whatever you fancy. Energy isn't fussy. And just allowing those 2 points to be connected and starting to release any energy from the week. Take about 3 deep breaths. And that signals the body that you're going inward as a spirit, you're turning off the world and going into your own inner self. And so just letting go of any worries, any problems, you can just throw them down that grounding cord. It's a great way to get rid of things that don't serve you. Excellent. And then you can call all your energy back from the week, anywhere you've left it. Just imagine gathering it up. It comes back in neutral. So it starts to form like a gold light right above your head. Whether you've been working this week or grocery shopping, driving, whatever you've been doing, just calling it all back in neutral. It's a great way to just give to yourself. And ask your body if there's any place in particular that this energy is needed. The body might have a little ache or pain. It's amazing how those things turn up. And so just checking in with your body, and you can send that soft gold energy that comes back to that spot in the body. There's more than one, you can just divide it up. Very easy. Excellent. And then again, taking one more deep breath, we're going to kind of delve in tonight. Deep sea diving. It's a great way to find your answers. And kind of look at your life. What is the story of this life? How would you sum this life up for yourself? Notice anything that scared you or made you feel uneasy? Any place you were the effect of the environment or the family? Just getting curious. This is just one of many lifetimes you've had. Because we're in it, we tend to take it a little bit more serious. And lots of times when we have a habit, it's to help us avoid something. Not always, but lots of times. So just notice if your habit is one that helps you avoid something, what is it you're avoiding? Is it loneliness? Is it pain? Emotional? Not feeling connected? Just getting curious. This is that deep sea diving, this digging, kind of being the detective and looking around in there. And lots of times when we hit a habit or when we avoid something, we get ungrounded. So we lose that connection with the earth. And as a soul, we pop out of our body. So many times being ungrounded is just a way of getting out of pain that's in the physical body. And it's usually emotional pain. A great subject for a Saturday night. That's it. So being a tiny bit amused and just asking yourself, what happens when you get ungrounded? Just getting curious. We're not judging any of this. We're just getting curious and looking. If you get out of the body to avoid something, what is it that you really need? That habit is usually familiar and a comfort in some way. But it's usually not based in your reality. So again, just get curious. Whose reality is it based in? Again, we're just getting curious. We're just looking. Notice if this was somebody you were trying to heal as a child, as a teen, if you didn't feel like you fit in the world. A lot of people that are sensitive feel like they don't fit. Kind of like being an oval soul on a round planet. It's like, hey, how come I don't fit like everybody else? And that's really a lie. You do fit. You just happen to be more sensitive. So find any energy that you decided as a kid or as a young adult that you couldn't handle. What felt that way? And what is that reality based in? What is the truth in present time? And just see what you find. Sometimes we create a truth when we're 10 or 20 that is real to what's happening at that point. But is that still your truth? Is that still how you view things? At 10 or 20, you only have so much information. But at 40 or 50, boy, that information is usually tripled. So look and see if that information is still what's appropriate. A person in present time with the same issue might look at it totally different. And again, just take a deep breath and get curious. All right, take a deep breath. Sometimes when we're growing up, we're looking for something, and the people we're looking for it from are not the ones who can give it to us. It's kind of like if you're looking for apples and your parents give you oranges, it's because that's what they have. They can't give you something they don't have. So sometimes you have to go somewhere else to find that answer. So it doesn't make them wrong. It just means they have oranges and you're an apple tree. So take a deep breath and just notice if you have that kind of a reality. Were you looking for something from your family that they couldn't give you? And what judgment did you make about that as a child? Sometimes we feel like we're not worthy, or we didn't get heard. And it's no one's fault. It's just the answer doesn't lie there. It lies somewhere else in life. And take a deep breath. And just finding a little compassion, a little curiosity for yourself and your family, people around you were with. And instead of it being wrong or right, just get curious about it. If you had a magic wand, how would you change it? What would you come up with that would be the right answer for you? And notice maybe what age were you when you found that other apple tree? When you found other people that could communicate with you the way you wanted? It might have been at a job or with a partner. Again, we're just getting curious about things that have kind of latched onto us this lifetime. What habit is it for you that you find hard to let go of? And you might notice all the other people on the planet that have this same habit. It could be smoking, it could be eating, it could be being a workaholic. There's so many little things to go to that take us away from pain inside ourselves. And again, what do you get out of having this habit? What does it help you avoid? Is there anyone you're punishing by staying stuck? Kind of interesting. Sometimes in those group agreements where there's a lot of people on the planet with the same kind of habit, you can kind of visualize it as a circle and then stepping out of the circle and letting it close behind you. So you're out of a group agreement. You're just doing this, healing it for you, not for a group. Even though there may be lots of people on earth that have the same issue. And then taking a deep breath. And this is always another good one. What keeps you from asking for help if you need it? It's kind of like, when you go to a restaurant, some days you're starving and you want an entree, a salad and the big course, and you're like, oh, and I'm going to have dessert too. So you have 3 or 4 things. Other times, I'm not that hungry. You just get a salad and dessert, or you just get an entree. And you don't think anything of it. You just get what you need or what you want. And yet sometimes in life, we have a hard time asking for a specific thing. It's like, oh, we should just do it one way. And so notice if you have a hard time asking for what you need. Pretty common. And again, if you're sensitive, maybe as a kid, they said no all the time. Maybe they couldn't. So let's do a tiny bit of work there. This is going to be held in the 5th chakra, the throat. So you can take your hand and move it around your throat and just pull out any old energy of being afraid to ask for what you need. You don't even have to know what it is. Just pulling that energy out. You can throw it down your grounding cord. And you might notice as you start working on this 5th chakra, this is all about communication in this 5th, there might be colors there. If they're your colors, they're going to be very clear. And if they're kind of opaque or muddied, that's somebody else's energy. So it'll feel heavy. So you can just pull out anything that doesn't feel like yours and release it. And as you let go of old constrictions about asking for what you need, what do you want to fill it in with? Maybe more certainty, more permission to be able to ask for what you need, to state your truth, to see what works for you. Excellent. And put your color in there. What color feels good to you in that throat area? There's no right or wrong color. And then thinking about how can you get some support around this? Sometimes willpower isn't enough. It doesn't always work. Sometimes having a friend or a buddy you can talk to about whatever it is that you're working on is another way of just getting help. We've seen this work really well in like 12-step programs, just any place where you just need that little validation. Hey, you can do it. And lots of times you can find that in this kind of a group. There may be somebody in class who can give you a hello, which was a lot easier in a way when we were all in person, but we wouldn't have had some of you with us if we were always in person. So we're grateful we can at least do it by Zoom. So kind of looking at asking for help, who could you ask? would be there for you? And most people would. Most people that you ask would be able to show up and be there for you. And so maybe making room in your aura, in that throat even, for having somebody show up who can help you so that you feel seen. I always tell people that are looking for new jobs to always put in that creation for a new job, having people who can really have them so that they feel appreciated at their job. They feel seen, and what they have to offer is valued. Because there's nothing worse than going to a job and not feeling like you're heard. So whatever it is in your life, creating more space for people to really see you and have you. And not the part of you that, we always have both sides. We have the part of us that's been hurt in life, and we have the part of us that's just happy and just fine. And you want to be able to be seen in both ways, but what do you keep your attention on is more the part of you that's already healed. Because that part is the one that can heal the little wounded part. So saying hello to that part of you that's happy, that loves life, and give it permission to lead the way. It's kind of like replacing that old habit with a new habit, a support group, your higher self. I think that part of you that's healed can really help that part of you that needs a little healing. So again, take a deep breath and just look and see, how would you like to support yourself? What would feel the best to you? Eventually, it feels better not to have the habit, and the positive feeling of not having it becomes the new habit, the new way of living. So just giving yourself a lot of permission. You can replace old feelings with curiosity. It's like, oh, how do I want to be now? I don't have to be the way I was at 20 or 30 or 40. I have a choice. How would I like to walk through life now? You have so much more information than you did as a wee one. So taking that deep breath and making space inside yourself for a new way of being in your life. We're going to play a little energy game with this tonight. This is kind of a fun little clean out, but it's a fun thing to do. And lots of times energy just gets triggered and you can release it in really fun ways. And you don't even have to know what's coming out. That's the beauty of it. You can just let it go. You as a soul know what you don't need anymore. So I want everyone to imagine a big, beautiful red rose out in front of you, made out of energy. And let it pull out of your space. These roses are going to have a little magnet in the center. Anything vibrating at red that you're ready to let go of. Doesn't matter what it is. And just let that big, beautiful rose in front of you just suck that energy out of your space, your chakras, your aura. And when that rose feels full, you can just imagine popping it. And what that does is it transmutes the energy. And it releases it, gives you a little healing. And then let's do a big, brilliant orange rose. Orange is a really fun color, and it's going to have a little magnet in the center of it. And it's just going to draw out of your space anything at orange that you're ready to let go of. And again, you don't even have to know. Might be somebody else's orange that happens to be in your space. And when it's full, go ahead and pop it. Just letting that energy dissolve. If it's somebody else's, it just goes back to that person in neutral, gives them a little healing. So it's a win-win. And now let's do a bright yellow rose. What energy are you ready to let go of at yellow? And just let it vibrate out of your space into that rose. Giving it a minute to leave. Fill that rose up. And then blowing that yellow rose, just popping it. And take a deep breath, kind of fun. Now let's do a green one. Beautiful spring green, like the grass. Lots of changes in the shades of green. So maybe any changes you're going through. This world's a little crazy right now. So any place that you get triggered at that green, just let that energy go out into that rose. Sometimes things change so fast around us, we get a little overwhelmed. Just let that green go. Take a deep breath and explode that green rose, pop it. And then let's do a big, beautiful sky blue rose. Let any responsibility, any heavy energy of blue come out of your space into that blue rose. Any grief, any place you take life serious, just maybe. Let it all come out and go into that blue rose out in front of you. Again, pop it, blow it up. Kind of fun to do a rainbow of roses. Now let's go to purple. Create a big, beautiful purple rose out in front of you. And see what gets triggered at purple. Sometimes you'll get a sense of something coming out. Other times you won't have a clue. We don't care. And just let that energy at purple come out. Let it fill that rose up. Breathe. Just releasing anything that gets triggered at purple. Pop. Let it go. Just a couple more. We're almost there. Then let's do one at brown. Brown's a great one. Put up a beautiful brown rose. And let any energy that's sitting at brown come out of your body into that rose. Just breathe and let it go. Pop it. We got two more. All right, this next one, kind of like a winter day. Let's create a big, beautiful white rose. And let any white energy come out of your space. Just getting curious. Letting that energy just flow out. Anything that you don't need at white. Let it flow into that rose. Gathering it all up and then popping it. Excellent. Take a deep breath. Last one. Let's create a huge golden rose out in front of us. And anything that keeps us from loving ourselves, from really believing in us, let it go into that gold rose to be transmuted, transformed. So any energy that where you're holding something against yourself, or you didn't feel lovable, or you had a bad hair day, just let any of that invalidation go into that gold rose. This is going to be fun to watch. That rose will get a little bit bigger. And this time when we pop it, you're going to find it transmutes and comes back to you. It usually comes back right above the crown chakra at the top of your head. So kind of get ready to watch for it. You might see it or you might just know it's there. And then pop that gold rose. It'll come in like little raindrops into the crown. And just admiring your ability to transmute energy, to change it from a negative to a positive. It's a great ability. And you can do it with anything. Just taking anything that feels like it was an invalidation, putting it in that gold rose, popping it, and letting it transmute and transform into an energy that serves you. And then just sit back for a minute in your chair and just notice, how do you feel? Do you feel any different than when you came tonight? You might have a little bit more space. You might feel a little bit lighter. Just notice how you feel. And then create a huge gold sun above your head, twice as big as your body. And you can think of all kinds of things you'd like to put in that gold vibration. What do you need more of? More joy, more happiness, more money, feeling safe? What do you need? Put it in that gold sun and pop it. And let it flow in and fill that whole body up, head to toe, with that gold energy. And then out into your aura. So anytime you need it, you can just sit down and ground and find you again. I like to imagine I'm sitting in the eye of a hurricane and all the chaos of the world's going around me, but I'm in this calm center. And when I'm in the center, I can throw little roses, gold roses of love and compassion and hope into that chaos so that the ones who need to find their way out can. But you're much better, you're much more effective at helping if you can stay out of the chaos. So even if you have to swim your way through the storm into the eye, do it. Find that sanctuary inside yourself. And then you can really be of service to the world. Okay. Woohoo. Taking a deep breath. Good job. Well done. Next week, we'll work on resistance and looking at things, judgment, and what gets in between us in the group agreement, kind of on earth. That's always a fun one.